This is, again, Overworld glitches, so boots are free. So that's why you'll see that on the tracker right away. And we got a split start already. One starting at JC starting at Sank and PRD starting at Link's house.
PRD going, probably for Hobo, but maybe for a blind island check.
Yeah,
Hobo.
Looks like Hobo. And JC is going to go a little bit more standard routing here. The Hobo opener is not something I usually see. And there's a sword, so there's a bit of value on that Hobo.
Yeah,
Very
nice. Pretty nice payoff.
But yeah, it's now PRD is headed over to probably check Saha's closet. Gonna peek that island item, and it is a heart container, so he probably won't go for it, at least at the moment. Maybe later, if he feels like he needs some hearts.
Just a red meringue in the lumberjack cave.
Because once you clip onto that island, you gotta save and quit off, unless you have the flippers. Or the flute. So PRD to show us what old man Saha is hiding in the closet. Another sword! Wow, we got 2 swords already for PRD. He is armed to the teeth quite quickly.
And it also means Aghanim is in logic. Well, not quite in logic, but if he gets that torch, it'll be Aghanim in logic early, and that could be fun if that becomes required.
Yeah, but with the item on Lumberjack being a red meringue, I don't see anybody doing Aga for really any reason. Usually the only time Aga will be required is if there's a required item on Lumberjack. There are certain cases to where he can logically be required in Overworld glitches, but I don't think any of our runners are going to worry about taking on that wizard. And JC finding that fire.
I'm just holding out hope for the weird and unusual cases.
Oh, the Cane of Samaria, too. Kakariko Town starting off strong. We got fire and cane. Meanwhile, PRD is going to get Hyrule Castle out of the way. A lot of runners in Overworld skip Hyrule Castle for quite some time, but PRD going to bank on the early play paying off and hoping that his opponent doesn't get around to these checks very soon. If it does pay off.
It's got a decent amount of checks, but does require dark rooms and possibly... Oh, Pearl. That's very nice.
Yes, that's a very nice find. So PRD already having Dark World access in Overworld glitches. Moon Pearl's all you need for Dark World. Mirror will suffice as well, but you're limited in what you can do depending on your skill set. You could theoretically go the entire seed if it's set up correctly, I believe, without even getting the Moon Pearl. Potentially. But that's going to require a seasoned Overworld glitch player to pull that one off.
Yeah, I think most of the runners here could do at least a few dungeons without the Pearl, but some of them require weirder setups like Swamp Palace.
Yep, so a PRD going into the back here. Gonna check out what's... Oh, JC finding the hammer in library.
Yeah, a lot of value on the Kakariko route, this seed.
Yeah, this seed is turning out to be pretty free so far. And JC has a fire source and is gonna go ahead and clip on over to Desert. Will be able to clear it, and it is a crystal, so JC just might knock it out here.
Hammer Landmo is going to be a bit annoying. Hopefully he'll find some more magic and have some for the fire rod by the time he gets there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have some bonus magic. He will have to use 2 shots to light those torches, so that'll deplete the pool. Theoretically, you have, if you get a full magic bar, you have just enough if you hit 2 shots on each landmo. But you have to be 100% accurate for that.
And you can see he's going for those pots with magic under them, because you know he's going to want to use them for the boss. And PRD is, looks like he's following up with the Kakariko route. And oh, silvers for JC. That's obviously not necessary for any of the runners in this tournament, but it's always very nice to have. And if the bow isn't too annoying, then could be useful for bosses other than Ganon.
Alright, so we got PRD on the move towards Kakariko. We'll be getting all those goodies there. JC will be wanting to get that Moon Pearl, so we'll see what takes him to Hyrule Castle. Because aside from that, the swords are nice. He'll probably stumble across that one in Saha pretty easily. Hobo, depends on if it in his routing. Hobo's kind of a weird check in Overworld glitches. It's dependent on how people route, you know, for themselves. When you actually pull those out.
And JC was considering for a second doing Agana, then he considering not doing it because it's slow to walk back out, and then realizing he didn't want to save and quit probably.
Well, it looks like PRD actually is not going to do Kakariko just yet, is going to go up to Death Mountain.
He does have a sword and a pretty decent amount of health for it, so it's not a bad choice for the density.
Yeah, but does not have a fire source, so this could end up being Firelock, but it is not. So PRD will be able to at least go upstairs and try to find those 2 items. Maybe one will be in the basement.
Definitely going to be keeping count and hoping there isn't, though. That's a good start. And JC getting stuck, doing the jump wrong. I've actually seen that exact same mistake before.
Yeah, that jump, it seems pretty easy, but honestly, it's kind of precise in terms of where you got to place yourself, because a little bit too far to the left and that sort of thing happens.
Yeah, you've really got to inch yourself to the right as far as you can before you start transitioning down.
Yeah, because you can... Basically, you just want to inch yourself over to the right there, and just make sure you don't fall off the ledge. If you hit it, if you hit the ledge and then transition down, you should be fine, just as long as you don't jump down.
JC going to escape now, so if he at least finishes up the front part, he's going to be in good shape.
Yep. And PRD taking on Trolldorm here, and with the Master Sword, not too bad. You got 3 spins and he's dead, and we get the dreaded basement key.
Oh.
But at least we get a green pendant for our troubles. So that is a bonus item that PRD will be able to cash in whenever he cross paths with Saha again.
And Eastern Palace is a crystal, so we'll definitely be seeing that turned in at some point. Unless he hits go mode before then.
Alright, so PRD bomb jumping across, and we'll probably be headed on over to, looks like he's going to rescue the old man, and I would say probably to East Death Mountain afterwards. JC picking up that Moon Pearl. So, for those of you that are not familiar with Overworld glitches, you've probably seen a bunch of weird stuff happening. Basically, using this time to kind of explain some of the stuff that's going on, a majority of the glitches that these runners will be performing are spin speed clips and boot clips. And so basically what you'll do is when you're doing a boot clip, you'll see them kind of shimmy against the wall. It looks like PRD setting up for a spin speed here to get down to try to get down to Graveyard Ledge, but doesn't get it. But spin speed clips, all you gotta do is, most people are familiar with how to activate spin speed, and if you just kind of walk in, once you've activated spin speed, if you just kind of walk into a corner just like PRD just did, you could just oftentimes just jump right off. It has to be those thin, one layer walls, but it is kind of a neat trick. Well, I should say it doesn't have to be. There are some certain cases where it doesn't need to be, but most cases, those walls can be jumped through.
Nothing good on Floating Island.
And JC over there on the left did a Death Mountain Ascent, and so that's the standard one you'll see. Used a teleport, so when you see our runners kind of stand against a sloped wall and kind of shimmy along it, kicking up dust with their boots, that's when they're doing a boot clip, and that's when you hit a direction, depending on which way you want to go, left or right, and the A button to dash buffer. You have to hit it on the same frame at the same time, and you will start clipping into the wall. And you clip far enough into the wall, you can do an up or down teleport, which is about 9 or 10 pixels in. I think 9 for up and 10 for down.
1 pixel less for each, actually.
Oh, okay.
But most people just go off the visual cue, so not knowing the exact number isn't surprising.
Yeah, a lot of these are based off of visual cues. The runners usually aren't counting pixels. Maybe for things that have difficult cues, perhaps. but usually there's easy visual cues for those.
Which makes a lot of them a lot less annoying, thankfully. PRD finally going for the Kakariko play. Going to be getting lots of nice items.
Yep, and JC will be able to check out the basement item if he wants to. Even though he has access, he still might not want to check the basement.
Yeah, with the key at the top, it means a bit of a trek to get back there. But if he does, we'll see if Purity missed out on anything good.
So while our runners are covering some more tracks that each other has followed, another note I want to make in terms of overworld glitches is logic is a bit different, as it is glitches included. So some of the things that you're normally familiar with, like water walking and things like that, fake flippers, that actually is in logic for overworld glitches, and it doesn't count anything indoors. So, any indoor glitches like the potion camera unlock, that's allowed in no glitches, runs. That is still not in logic, and dark rooms are not in logic.
There are also a fair few glitches. We've seen a lot of these ones that aren't in logic, but offer enough good time saves or utility that the runners generally learn them anyway.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that the runners may do in any of these overworld glitches seeds is logically the Titan's mitts are gonna be required for Ice Palace. However, there are a few clips that you can do to get into Ice Palace without the Titan's mitts. And most of the time, runners aren't going to search for the Titan's mitts to get in to Ice Palace, so if they don't have them, they're going to break in anyway.
And another big one in that vein is the lower turtle rock clips, which in this case are really only used, don't even lower requirements, but they're so good for speed for getting right to the boss that they get a lot of use in these two.
Yeah, there is a laser bridge skip. Not everyone can do it. It is a bit difficult to do. It's pretty precise, and you can mess up and get stuck pretty easily. But so you may see some people do it, some may not, and it does just help a little bit in terms of speed, but not necessarily by much. So JC finding that sword on the hobo, and that is JC's first sword.
And it looks like you might be doing the Sazwala check soon, so they'll be pretty close to party.
Yeah, it's interesting that we have not seen either runner jump into the Dark World just yet.
Second sword, yeah, Sazwala's closet.
So, we haven't seen Eastern yet. Maybe JC will peek in there without the bow. Interesting, we've seen 3 bottles already.
Hmm. Looks like JC might go. Oh no, it's going for Graveyard Ledge first.
Yep, and this is what PRD was trying to do earlier when he did that spin speed clip. It's a bit of a tricky jump. You have to have some specific inputs in there, so it's easy to mess up, but at least you don't really suffer too much. You just get you get soft locked if you don't get it right, and all you gotta do is save and quit.
Not sure why he went for it again there.
He was probably gonna go do King's Tomb as well.
Yeah.
Looks like he's gonna give it another shot.
Yeah, if you don't get the setup just right, then it's easy to end up in the wrong Y pixel, and then you just get into the stuck somewhere. You can't get out.
So sometimes you'll see when runners like that glitch that JC just did. Sometimes you'll see runners when they land there, they'll pick up the black rock. What happens is if you land halfway on the bush and on the black rock, the game gets kind of confused and thinks you're trying to pick up the bush when it actually makes you pick up the black rock, and because you don't need gloves to pick up bushes, it lets you pick up the black rock.
And now here we're getting... Oh, no, he's going for the Eastern Death Mountain.
So it looks like PRD is gonna... Well, he doesn't have gloves.
Yeah, he might be, no.
No lift. So he's gonna have to go the long way if he's wanting to go in the Dark World. So we'll get to see a Death Mountain descent here. So this spin speed clip here, is a very, very common one. We use it a lot to just get up to the top of West Death Mountain. And from here, PRD is just going to jump on down, head on over. It looks like he's going to go to GT first.
Yep. There wouldn't be much other reason to leave it wrapped unless he had the mirror.
So he will be able to, if he can do all the hovers and bomb jumps and whatever he needs to, he can clear basically all of GT at the bottom, and provided he can do the mimic clip, he can clear the whole thing.
So there's plenty of you can just bomb jump to get through all the gaps at the bottom. You don't need to do any hovers unless you want to do Moldorm. So I doubt we'll be seeing hovering unless he's really confident in his hovering ability.
Alright, so we got Powder and Bugnet already, so nothing but a fetch quest so far. Meanwhile, JC looks to be... It looks like he was gonna set up for a catfish, or not a catfish, a Zora area play here, or descent here. I assume that's what he's trying to do here.
Oh, yep.
Yep, there we go.
And they're in non-glitched modes. Normally, the randomizer puts a bunch of junk in GT before placing items normally there, so that there's less chance of important progression up there. but in Glitch there's no junk fill, so it's a much more enticing target.
Yeah, and often GT has a required item at some point. Speaking of required items, we got a glove on Zora. That's a big find right there.
Yeah, that's definitely something you want to have most of the time.
Yeah, you definitely are. You'll be excited to see one pair of gloves for sure.
JC going for Ganon's tower access too, it seems like. And there's the map check.
Yep, and so we've got Ice Palace as a crystal. That does mean that pair of gloves is required. So in Overworld Glitches, it's very possible to do a seed without even picking up a pair of gloves, because all you need them for is Ice Palace to lift that last rock before Cold Stare. So JC has those, and wherever the second pair is, we don't know. So it looks like JC is going to do right side first. We'll see if he goes back for the left side.
And it's a bowless ice almost time.
So we've got a sword at least. Could be boomerang Ice Armos. Really safe, but really slow.
Yep.
Interesting. JC didn't go right side. He just went tile room.
Did he not have the key for it?
Oh yeah, he didn't have a key. That's it.
JC doing the hover instead of bomb jumping.
And PRD just swinging away at those Ice Armos. They are really resistant to those sword swings. And a death from falling over there.
And he's just going for the bomb jump now.
Looks like he may not be sure how to perform it.
Yeah, having a bit of trouble with the spin buffer.
Oh, but he gets that hover, so he'll be able to check that Stalfos room now. Meanwhile, PRD is going to check that big chest. And we got just some bombs. So from here, PRD will probably go right side because that's actually in logic. Left side was pretty much not in logic. There were two things. You can logically bonk all the way to the firebar room, like where JC is going now, and you get the torch item. But aside from that, nothing else is in logic without the hook shot. So we could see some interesting items on the right side here. Alright, JC getting that bomb jump and getting another key. And we'll be approaching the room with the big key here. Unfortunately, cannot play the big key guessing game in Overworld Glitches, so if you're a fan of that, the nature of Overworld Glitches takes our runners to GT at random times, so it'd be a little hard to follow for sure. Especially sometimes you'll get multiple trips to GT, but that's not the case in this seed here.
Yeah, logically required GT multiple dips are always fun.
But nothing doing on the right side either. Just getting a blue cane, so GT not having a whole lot.
And PRD obviously doesn't want to do the mimic clip, so he's out, and he's gonna go for the rest of the Dark World.
Yeah, I could see that. Because he knows that hookshot's required for the big key, and that also means that
Oh, is this a Swamp Palace super jump? Yep. That's fun to watch.
Yep, and that is called the Death Mountain Super Drop. Basically, you set yourself up in such a way that you can just jump all the way down the map. The Cane of Burna requires the Cane of Samaria. That's a nice hint.
That's a bit funny to read. And I don't think I've seen this in any of the matches I've watched so far, so it's interesting to see it in a real run.
Alright, so PRD is going to give us our first look at Hype Cave, but let's see if it lives up to the hype. So far, not so much, and last chest, nothing. So that's not a very good Hype Cave, so JC looks like he's probably going to go to the right-hand side. Might finish the top afterwards, but as I was saying about GT doing and PRD not doing the top, I agree with that decision because it's bow locked and hook shot locked, so you're not gonna find pretty much most of your go mode items there anyway. Like, he will need the ice rod. And potentially a medallion here, which we will see if Meyer is what medallion is required. That screen was a little foggy, couldn't tell which one it was required.
And this is where Michael would complain that nobody does the upward teleport instead.
JC looks like he's checking out the dam, and oh my, wow. That other pair of gloves just been hanging out in the dam all this time.
Yeah, they both put off the south shore. It looks like Ice Palace shenanigans are definitely out for JC.
And PRD looks to be taking a shortcut up to the Village of Outcasts here.
Not so much a shortcut as his only way, since he doesn't have those mitts.
Meanwhile, JC gonna give us a look at Mini Moldorm Cave. So at this point, ice is in logic. And we got the flute, which may never end up being activated. The flute has diminishing returns. The longer you go in an Overworld Glitches seed, the less you need it, because it's not required for any access to Mire or anything like that. So, yeah, it has uses in early routing, and that's about it.
Yeah, once you get past the early part of an Overworld Glitches run, it's a lot easier to route together the remaining stuff usually. And PRD going for that Pendant Thieves Town. It's got good density, so at least the front.
Alright, so JC going to get those disappointing items in the quote-unquote Hype Cave. Meanwhile, PRD in Thieves Town, and we'll see if there is anything good here.
Nothing good so far, I think. Only like rupees and arrows. 2 items up front.
JC using a spin speed clip to do a little shortcut. So JC gonna head into the Mire area, and then from here, we're just gonna have to wait and see. A unique item needs fire in Tower of Hera.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That was the boomerang JC got.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's Quake on Misery Mire.
So we will need to hunt down that Quake medallion. PRD picking up a change of clothes, and that is gonna be just a little bit nice. No progression, but still nice to find.
It's all fun and games until you need to death warp and you've got 15 hearts and red mail.
Yeah, in glitch modes, red mail is very, very bad. In Overworld glitches, not as terrible because you don't have to do so many death shenanigans, and we're past the point to which our runners would really be doing any bulk of death shenanigans, because there would be things that they want to do, maybe like a Dungeon Bunny revival, something of that nature. But definitely still a lot of glitch players hate the red veil.
And that lamp saving them from the annoyance of Misery Mire, or at least purity from the annoyance of Misery Mire Dark Rooms.
So our runners are looking for a hookshot and a bow, for sure. Also, we're gonna need the Quake and Ice Rod. Oh, also the mirror.
JC passing up Thieves Town, at least for now, so you can go for the Skullwoods full clear. Not a bad idea since it's crystal. Oh, there's the ice rod.
And JC gonna demonstrate we don't need capes in Overworld glitches. Just gonna clip right on up there and grab it. No bumper is going to stop us. Ganon really needs to step up his security measures. So it looks like JC is going to do the back to front approach, which with a crystal Skull Woods is my preferred method.
Yeah, there's some really good benefits of doing that.
Yeah, if it's pendant, I go front to back. If it's crystal, I go back to front. But JC finding the first item, one of two in Skull Woods, and very nice half magic there. Looks like he is taking a lot of damage to try to get that fairy to for just a little bit of safety on Mothula. But with half magic and Master Sword, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, Fire Rod is extremely good for Mothula if you take just a little bit to not miss him.
Yeah, and if you get some spins off on Mothula with the Master Sword, it does tempered sword damage, so that's also very nice. And PRD following behind JC in Skull Woods as well. A little bit healthier, but JC does have that fairy, so we shall see. And he's gonna powder this bunny beam to get some extra health, so up to full. Getting a couple hugs from the mummy. Wanting to save every bit of magic he can, it looks like.
Yeah, Gibdos are pretty sturdy when you've only got a Master Sword.
Yep, and JC waiting out that Wall Master. Sometimes they can grab you straight out of that hole when you drop in, so you'll see runners on occasion wait for that. He is going Hammer Moth.
We got a 3
surprising
hammer
he's
hits
not.
in.
Yeah, surprised to not see some more Fire Rod strats, but it does take a little bit longer to kill him with Fire Rod.
Yeah, he only fell back on the Fire Rod after he was too low on health. He wants to keep that fairy.
So, near simultaneous boss kills from our runners, and they didn't get that second item, so they will be diving back into the dungeon to see if they pick it up in that chest under the bridge. Or maybe not. Oh, JC remembering, hey, I should probably check that.
Yeah, it would be pretty embarrassing if the item was there and he had to go all the way back again just to check it. Although in that case I expect he'd just leave and hope it didn't have anything important.
And we get our big key, so off we go back to the front, and we'll see if that big key leads to anything. Interesting to note, we have everything we need to kill Trinex now. So our runners at any time could just break on into Turtle Rock, do Laser Bridge, and kill Trinex.
Oh, they'll definitely have to go above the laser bridge, at least a bit to find the big key.
It is true. Big Key does have to be upstairs. Because there's no logical way to get down to Laser Bridge without it. JC gonna do the big chest here. PRD looks like, let's see where he's gonna end up. JC trying to get that bomb jump.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying at least a couple times to do the spin buffer, but not quite getting it. I don't think he's practiced that much. Pierre coming all the way back for Boomerang. All he knows is it's a unique item, so it's a good spot to check though.
Yeah. Hera not as punishing. You end up passing by it so many times in an Overworld glitch seed that, you know, it's always kind of... There's always moments where you can kind of just check something like this. And JC is going to grab the frog here and going to go over to Hammer Pegs before he saves and quits. And I imagine when he drops off our blacksmith friend, we will see the magic bat as well.
Oh, there's that quake. No.
So yeah, it wasn't a boomerang.
Yeah, sorry.
That was a very important item.
Yeah, that's a big one. Sorry, I thought he got the boomerang there.
Oh, that's fine. But so JC, if he... I don't believe he picked it up, so he will probably want to see head back up there at some point. And PRD about to get his first pair of gloves, so gonna be excited about that. And luckily he found luckily for PRD, he found the dam gloves before the Zora gloves, because those Zora gloves aren't really needed at all.
And Zora's domain is enough out of the way that there's a good chance we won't see anything up there if the seed goes smoothly from this point.
Well, I should say that maybe those gloves might be needed, but that all depends on how many of the ways that our runners know. I believe PRD knows alternate ways without the mirror to get into Ice Palace, because if the mirror is in Ice Palace, that eliminates one of the methods you can use to break in. There is one method that requires a YBA, and there is another method that requires no items, but is kind of convoluted and hard to remember how to do if you haven't really practiced it.
And there's Flipper's one if he finds those along the way.
Yep. So JC dropping off to Blacksmith. We'll see what they're cooking up today.
It does look like Pierre is going for Zora's domain since he got the ice cave and got one walk off of it.
So if he does go up and purchase those mitts, he will not have to worry about knowing any additional methods.
Tempered sword, very nice.
Yeah, and because JC did not have a water walk or fake flipper when he came down to Zora, he was not able to check that waterfall cave, so that's why he does not have tempered. And we just got a big 20 in checkerboard.
And I think JC is going to go for the back of Desert Palace this time. Yep, don't need to do any fancy glitches for it.
And PRD looks like maybe this is an ice play here. I can't imagine anything else, so... All right, this is some new information, so we'll keep our. Ooh, that's a nice hint. Left side swamp is dead, and no one's gonna go pick up that red mail.
Yeah, that's very annoying and no good items there. So it's good to know that.
And we're gonna definitely keep our eyes peeled here in ice. Which has been in Logic for quite some time, so definitely could be some progression here.
Nice clean fire rod landmill kill from JC.
Yep, and that's just a nice little kill that he can knock that out and take some time to do some thinking of what he's going to do next. Because that Ice Palace is definitely staring him in the face just as much as it was PRD. And not a lot of runners like to do ice unless it's go mode. I missed the first half of that Pyramid Fairy hint. I saw some cash and what else requires? Is that on a Pyramid Fairy?
Requires a red wellness Pyramid Fairy, yeah.
Yeah, but I missed the first part of it. Cash and something.
Unfortunately, I didn't catch it either.
But PRD just blazing through ice here. Meanwhile, JC probably gonna head to Thieves Town. Oh, looks like he's gonna activate that flute.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
There is still some value in it.
Still good for getting to Eastern Palace, Pod, Ice Palace.
Well, they say if you think you're going to use it at least twice, it's worth the time to activate it.
And chat said Pyramid Fairy is heart, peace, and cash from the hint.
Got it. So JC looks like he's going to set up a water walk in probably here. And this may be an Ice Palace play as well. PRD is going to have to be careful, has just one heart remaining. And there's our second unique item in Tower of Hera hint. Maybe that'll drive the point home that JC needs to go back for that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the few locations that can get a duplicate hint.
So PRD picking up that big key, and JC did not go to ice.
He's gonna flute there, possibly. Yep.
Yeah, PRD taking a death bun and burning one of those fairies. Probably not what he wanted, but does have the net, so can recapture a fairy from one of those anti-fairies because he's got the powder. And a very convenient Zank card.
Yep. Looks like JC's going for the... Oh. Yeah, Death Eastern... Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not sure if that was intended. This is the first time I've seen this.
Yeah, I feel like that was accidental because it would have been quicker to just hop down instead of fix the screen scrolling.
Alright, so PRD taking on that cold stare. And with Tempered Sword, not too difficult of a fight. So down goes one puff, down goes two, and down goes three.
Oh, last bottle for JC. I'm a bit surprised by how rarely I've seen people use the Fire Rod to melt Cold Stare's shell, even with good items in half magic.
Bombos is more magic efficient if you have it. And then you can use the fire rod shots. Hey, JC finding the bow in the bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave. That's been that means that's been available for quite some time.
Yeah, it's a big one. And off to Turtle Rock, or at least to check the medallion. Yep, he's gonna go in with the medallion because it's easier to do a full clear from the top.
Potentially.
If key
Depending
logic
on
is
yeah. If the key is up in the top, which a lot of times it is, then yeah, it is easier. But if it's in lava chest, then the middle would possibly be faster.
And there's always the potential that you can't even get down from the top in Overworld glitches. Oh, there's the big key.
And PRD will probably hit on into Hookshot Cave as well. So we'll get that bow. And we got a pretty even race so far. The only thing that is the difference is I'd say PRD has a very small advantage in terms of just having cleared Ice Palace versus JC's clear of the Desert Palace, but negligible at this point.
PRD taking the middle entrance instead.
And JC does have a small key to work with, so might be able to get down. So this could be the better route through Turtle Rock here. Nope.
Nope.
Interesting opting to save and quit. But I guess it's not too far of a trip to just go back. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like death warping off the train chomps would have been fast enough, but maybe he wants to. Yeah, maybe he wants to do the lower clip.
Yeah, well, can you do that with a YBA?
You can do
You
it.
don't even have potions.
You don't even need a bottle. You can just do it with regular boots clips.
For the
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember there was a funny kind of
it's kind of a
sliding clip that I saw that you can use.
And it looks like he's going for it.
All right.
There's some of the fancy stuff.
Yeah, you could watch this whole tournament and probably learn at least one new thing, even if you are very experienced in overworld glitches. And JC picking up some butter on the laser bridge. That might be all the items in Turtle Rock.
Possibly. Very easy Triax kill with the butter sword. So easy he forgot to switch his mods.
Yep. With the butter sword, you want to switch as soon as you get that stun off on either of the heads so that you can be ready for the next one, because you can't menu until the head finishes exploding. Ooh. That's a good one.
JC's been having a bit of trouble with the hovers, so I'm sure he's very happy to be able to hookshot the Moldorm Gap.
And he did have the entrance open, so he can go straight to Hookshot Cave. Now, the hookshot alone doesn't really do a whole lot for us at this moment, but it does open this. So if the mirror is here, that's going to do something for us, because that's Swamp Palace. It also means that GT is fully in logic at this moment. So JC could potentially clear all the rest of GT if he wants to.
Going for the last chests in the middle now.
I believe we got 2 small keys left. That was the last item. Because one's going to be map, and we got 2 small keys.
Yep, and he realizes that he's got nothing left.
This might be a good time to finish GT, since you're between things, and the 4 chests at the top could be something.
Yep, Still not taking that Hera bottom chest, unfortunately. Hopefully when he sees the hint in Ice Palace, he'll try again.
And it does look like he is going to go for the full clear of GT. PRD finishing up Eastern. PRD, I'd say, is in a bit of a better spot at the moment. Even though JC has found that hook shot, it's on a crystal boss, so it'll only be a matter of time before PRD gets there. So JC needs to get the idea in his head to go to the Hera basement soon, so that he can kind of maintain some advantage.
Yeah, if he puts that off for too long, it's gonna start hurting him when he starts hunting other places for it.
Meanwhile, PRD is just chugging along, gonna go clear out Pod here, and maybe we'll find our mirror here. There's plenty of items in Pod. Alright, so we got JC climbing the gauntlet. This gauntlet is got some annoying rooms in it. What's your favorite room of the gauntlet?
I'd say it's the last one with the Stalfos and the red horsehead guy.
I'd say the first room's my favorite, especially if you have half magic and fire rod, because you can just get that one. Bing, bang, boom. I hate room 2, though. I really hate... Hey, there's the mirror!
Wow, that's really nice. But I was saying... No, go ahead.
Yeah, PRD's gonna really have a strong advantage now. That mirror is a huge find.
Yeah, and I was saying, I assumed you was asking for you in a sarcastic way, because I also always found that last one a little annoying.
Yeah. And JC getting the kind of a reverse 2-cycle there. Getting only 1 and then getting the 3 instead of the common thing that happens, you get 3 and then miss 1.
Yeah, the 1 cycle's pretty tight, but it's always a good feeling when you get it.
Yep. And PRD trying to bonk back up onto the ledge there, getting chased away by the beetles. Those beetles are really annoying when you're trying to do things in this area. So nothing in the Helmasaur chests. JC has 2 chests left in GT where something could be, but at this point, really not gonna be much of anything. Maybe we're still need those flippers, so that's about as good as it can get in here.
Yep.
Well, we got a mushroom, so put a pin in and put a little asterisk as to what we found in GT, because we don't know what that mushroom's going to lead to.
Hopefully it leads to nothing and they never think to use it.
Alright, time for AGA 2, which, by the way, just a note, in case you're wondering, you might see an AGA 1 and an AGA 2 on the tracker. It's unique to Overworld glitches because we may kill AGA 2 before actually finishing this race out and killing Ganon, because we can't kill Ganon until we get all 7 crystals. He will become immune in Phase 4. So oftentimes you may see an early GT clear just to check the items and open up Ganon, but it'll be kind of sitting there until we get all the crystals.
Yeah, I feel like Aghanim 2 usually goes down somewhere around the middle of an Overworld Glitches run.
So PRD, finding that mirror in a pendant pod, that's big. But again, those flippers still missing, so what do we got left? We got Misery Mire. Turtle Rock is done. Oh, well, there's the flippers.
Nice. And the fact that JC is walking all the way up here to Catfish makes me think he's going to clip down to Pod after. Oh, no. I'm surprised he walked all the way up there and then just left.
So it looks like PRD is headed back to Turtle Rock here. Yep, gonna do the laser bridge clip, and as soon as he completes Trinex, will be in go mode.
Meanwhile, JC is finally going for Ice Palace.
PRD picking up a gold sword, looking for a small key, gets it. Gonna check the extra chests. And I imagine we'll be off to Trinex. Nope, looks like he's gonna check Crystal Roller first. Maybe even the big chest. Because he does have the mirror, so he can just mirror back to Laser Bridge at this point.
Yeah, coming from the middle or the bottom definitely is a lot nicer with the mirror.
Oh yeah, that's right. He never got to the front because he ran out of small keys, so he doesn't have that big key. So, off to the front he goes. Still will be able to mirror on back though, so... While it's inconvenient to have to walk all the way to the front, not so bad when you can just go right back to Laser Bridge. Alright, PRD ascending into the Chain Chomp room. Gonna just run past them, going through this key door. JC, meanwhile, trying to do that Ice Palace bomb jump, gets it.
Looks like things are going to be pretty smooth for PRD from this point out, especially since he knows that the big key, he knows he doesn't have... No, never mind. I was going somewhere, and then I realized that it didn't matter. But yeah, all the remaining dungeons, except for maybe Misery Mire, are pretty straightforward to clear in Go mode.
Yep. He'll do Desert and Mire at the same time. Swamp Go mode is much shorter than having to do all of the checks you'd normally want to do, even if you skip left side. It's kind of a jet if you could just skip all the checks in Swamp.
And just slashing his sword to signify his annoyance at not having hookshot there. Especially funny when he's looking explicitly for the hookshot.
Oh, little does he know he's about to get it. Getting the nice line up there with the Samaria block. And off we go to see Trinex. Meanwhile, JC looks like is moving on to the final stages of ice here.
Do you remember where the book was?
I do not remember where the book was. Honestly, I don't remember anybody picking it up, so I kind of missed Pod. I imagine maybe that's where it was. But PRD picking up that hook shot, and at 1:17 is in Go mode. Alright, now all PRD has to do is do a Go mode Swamp, Go mode Mire, and finish the back of Desert and the top of GT. Meanwhile, JC is gonna complete Ice Palace here. May have some time stored up after having cleared some things that PRD did not, but Pod needs to be JC's next move.
Yep. Hopefully he does Pod, because then with the book he can check the tablet and Herod basement together. Otherwise it's going to cost him a bit more time to check them individually.
And PRD has a gold sword and silver, so nothing's gonna slow him down. We've got plenty of fairies in those bottles. I think all of the bottles except one had a fairy in it.
Oh, JC going for the fire rod melt. Yeah, she's got the butter sword, so you can kill him in the corner very easily.
Yep. And down the go. JC picking up that Ice Palace crystal. And again, let's see, from JC's perspective, Pod is a logical option. I don't really think he has a whole lot left, besides some scattered overworld checks like Purple Chest.
I think that second Hera hint made him want to go up there and get it now.
Yep, and this is a good move. You know, aside from going to pod, this is what he needed to do, so...
Does make me wonder how long it'll take for him to get to the Ether tablet, since he won't be passing by it too much from this point on.
Yeah, those tablets can be kind of misleading because they're not often do they have progression. So PRD is taking on Argus here. Down go the last puff, and now we're just gonna get that quick kill. JC picking up that Quake medallion is probably gonna head to Meyer, to be honest, I might say.
Argus quick kill going a bit slow.
Back to the mountain. What's left here? Oh, just getting some health. Yep, and it is the Misery Mire play. Yeah, it's hard to say that going to pod is going to be a difficult sell when you now have access to Mire. It's definitely something that a lot of people avoid. So I agree with JC's decision here to go into Mire. It's probably what I would do.
Yeah, the big key hunt in Misery Mire can be annoying enough that it can make it close to a full clear a lot of the time. So unless the big key is somewhere really nice, this probably won't lose him too much time.
Yeah, PRD, his gamble into pod really did pay off, getting those 2 remaining progression items, and in that sort of in a pendant dungeon, that's definitely something that when you gamble on it and it pays off, it pays off.
No big key in one of the lucky chests.
Alright, so JC going to the cutscene in PRD right behind him.
We already know that JC isn't going to find anything good here, even if he does need it for completion.
Looks like PRD is doing avoid the cutscene chest at all costs, and it pays off for him. Big key is on the I don't know, what do you call that chest?
I don't know what the official name is, but main room chest is what I'd call it.
Nothing but a compass behind the cutscene, so JC going back to the main room. Probably that'll be his next chest that he checks.
He's gonna keep checking after that though, because he still doesn't have his go mode, so that's gonna make things gonna be a lot nicer for PRD, especially since he's got the lamp there.
Yep, PRD headed to Vitreous. We got all the equipment to take him on, so he is not a pain today.
Yeah, no fighter sword Vitreous for anyone who was hoping for that.
Be a very nice and smooth fight. PRD will have options at his leisure. Could do a cape and sword strat, could do just the silver arrows, which is what most people do if they have access to it, but can be a bit laggy.
It looks like the second item's on the boss.
Alright. Machine gun, silver machine gun out, and just like that, all the eyes are dead, and down goes Vitreous for PRD. Vitreous just dropping a giant's wallet full of rupees.
Don't see how PRD could lose at this point. He's only got to mirror to Desert Palace and then kill Ganon.
Yep, and here's where you're gonna see that. Here's where you're gonna see that rare finish off Aga 2 and go straight to Ganon, as you were saying before.
Yeah, it's always nice for the runner when it happens because it means they get dropped directly where they need to be.
And JC doing a nice job navigating through that dark room. Gonna go and engage Vitreous here. Gonna get that crystal. But still looking for the mirror and the flippers. So we'll have to make some more decisions. Probably... I'm not sure if he got all the items out of Eastern, or if there was one on Armos Nights. I don't remember.
Yeah, JC really needs to do pods soon if he wants to get a decent time.
And PRD is off to GT. Only has to clear the upper section. Already has the big keys, so just needs to go straight to the top, do the gauntlet, and kill Aga 2. Meanwhile, JC gonna hop on over, and maybe this is a purple chest check here.
Hopefully not going to do Thieves Town.
Looks like that is the case, going into Thieves Town. Only gonna find really the lamp here, so...
There's also an armor here, I think, but that's obviously not very useful at this point.
And PRD is starting that climb. So let's see. What else could prompt JC to visit pod? Really, it's just, I mean, it's just you gotta take it on faith and go for item density.
Yeah,
I think really it was a choice between Thieves Town and Pod for JC, and since Thieves Town was closer, I think that's why he decided to do Thieves Town.
possibly also because of the dark rooms.
Very nice, blasting through that hellway and getting upstairs. And JC getting trolled a little bit up by that Zol.
Getting those fun Samaria strats in on the Wizard rooms. Oh, the 1 cycle for PRD.
Very nicely done. Almost to the top here. And just a few torches to light. Gonna probably bypass those helmet chests unless he's really, really curious. And off we go to see Moldorm 2. Just gonna grab that full magic refill before we head on in. There's our lamp on JC's side. You know, and it's possible that the lamp contributed a bit due to logic thought processes, but
yeah, might have pointed a bit, but probably was mainly for item density, I think.
Yeah, it just really came down to a good gamble paying off, really. And Rando is Rando, so, you know, sometimes you pick the right direction, and that's kind of just all there is to it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta gamble and hope it's a good gamble.
So down goes Agatu and JC taken down blind. PRD on his way to fight Ganon, so we're gonna slice us up some bacon here real shortly.
And he's got everything he needs to kill Ganon very quickly, so unless he decides to repeatedly jump off to give JC a fair chance, I don't think he'll be here too long.
Yes, yep, this will be PRDs to lose, really, and JC picking up the purple chest, so we'll get to see what's on that. PRD already pushing Ganon into phase 3. Doesn't take much of any time when you got a gold sword. And just a heart piece on that purple chest. So JC is fluting to number 5. We'll probably see an Eastern Palace finish up here. PRD finishing Ganon off with a double. So get those GGs in chat for prdwong. And we will get the official time once he crosses that bridge.
GG.
So we got an official SRL time in first place of 1 hour, 36 minutes, 23 seconds. GG PRD. And we will see if PRD wants to join us for an interview. Looks like he will be, so just wait for him to get in here. Meanwhile, JC is going to finish up Eastern here. And we are joined by prdwong. GG's, congrats. And man, that pod gamble really paid off, didn't it?
Yeah, GG's. This seed was kind of mean.
Yeah, putting important stuff in pod wasn't very nice.
Yeah, well, I've already been burned by that one time during this tournament, so...
Yeah, and had not one but 2 progression items. The book was there, correct?
Yes, book and flippers.
Well, book and mirror, yeah.
Oh, yeah, mirror, sorry. Yeah, flippers was... I mean, book led to flippers.
Yep.
Did JC happen to find Ether? Because I'm still missing that for Turtle Rock.
He did.
Yeah. Ether, I don't remember where that was. It was late.
That was definitely a mistake I made. When I went into Turtle Rock and then I saw that it might be medallion locked, so logically. So I went into the middle and I found that it was, and I totally forgot about the clip to get into Laser Bridge. I should have done that while I was there, I guess. Yeah. But then if I had done that, then that might have... I don't know. I guess I still would have gone to pod afterwards, because it only gave me the hook shot, right? Yeah, so I wouldn't have gone into swamp.
Yeah, I think there was. I know Michael K has mentioned that it's possible to use your keys in a way that you make it medallion locked, but I think he told me that it can't be medallion locked by default. So I don't know. Either way, though, yeah, that medallion did play big into routing T-Rock. It made it a lot easier.
Yeah, so I mean, you basically saw me use the keys in the wrong way. I mean, it was a gamble at the time, because basically if you go into the middle because you don't have the medallion, and you take the key from the pokey and you open up the big key chest, if there's no small key there or in the chain chomps chest, then you're locked out from the front and you have to use the medallion. So, and that's exactly what happened to me. So I just noped out and said, well, at least I know that there's nothing there until I find Ether. But I think that was the wrong play. I think I should have just gone into Laser Bridge, and then I could still divine that information, whether it was medallion locked or not, but just cleared out Turtle Rock while I was there instead of having to come back again.
Yep, and looks like JC is gonna check what's on the mushroom here.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to do pod, which is unfortunate for him on this seed.
But yeah. So what you know well, how are you feeling when you found that your first pair of gloves that they were just hanging out on the dam the whole time?
I was like, well, I get punished for that decision, I guess. And I just had to hope there was nothing in the glove locations that I skipped, which I think wasn't that many. Like, I know it was a little bit slower to just go through all of Escape from the front, and then I didn't get to check Checkerboard Cave, but I didn't feel like it put me that far behind.
Yeah,
But I was
because
I was glad to find it.
yeah, because JC found the first pair of gloves, actually the Zora ones, doing a DMD from the Turtle Rock area. Went to go to Zora, grabbed those, and then found the ones in the dam second. So you both went to South Shore area pretty late.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking about going to Zora when I was up there on Death Mountain, but I wasn't exactly sure what the setup was. I'm pretty sure I could figure it out, but I just didn't want to bother with it during a race.
Yeah, for that one, you just go to the rightmost area that has two. It's like a short little span there that has the two angled sides there, right at the bottom. That kind of like just basically touches the edge of the map, the screen, and then it you just go off to the left side there with a spin speed clip in it.
Yeah, so just like getting to Catfish, basically. That's the first thing that I would try. It's just, yeah, I haven't done it in a while. And then also, like, after doing that, like, I feel like I kind of orphan the Waterfall Ferry.
Yeah, that's what JC did, so he had to go back a second time for the Wonderful Fairy checks.
And it does look like JC's got that mirror, so all he's got to do is get that book, and we'll see how long it takes. I can't imagine he has much left to check anyway, so he may go straight to tablets.
And if he does, Ether would obviously be the first one to check, because it's easier to get to, especially with the flute.
Yeah, because mirror locations are pretty much tapped out on the Overworld, because we can get to them without the mirror. But yeah, either way, yeah, this is a fun race to watch. You know, there was times, you know, where the lead was kind of going, you know, in JC's favor, and it's just, you know, the pod gamble really paid off for you this time.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that was weighing on my mind was that I had already done Hera. I had gone all the way to the back of the Use Town for the 3 items, so I figured I'll just finish pod, and you know, maybe there's something on the pedestal. Like, the treks I had left were all kind of like scattered overworld locations, so they weren't really that appealing. I guess I had Mire open at the time as well that I just kept putting off.
Yeah. And this puts you at looks like 2 and 3, so I bet you're feeling a little bit better now that you're kind of clawing it back here.
No, I told Michael the records are wrong. I'm actually 1 and 4. So well, I'm just playing these games. I'm just, you know, having fun, doing whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, are you having fun with the tournament so far? I mean, this is definitely one of the more fun times that I've had for sure.
Yeah, I wish I could be doing a little better, but I mean, my group is tough. You know, JC's really good too. So it's no real expectations.
Yeah. But you're welcome to hang out or if you want to head on out, that's up to you. But we're gonna try to focus in on here on JC. So if you got any other final comments on the seed, you know.
Nope. I guess the moon pearl at the beginning, I was really happy to see because that's been eluding me in some of the recent seeds.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of free moon pearls in these seeds.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
always someplace like Hyrule Castle that is typically put off until super late.
yeah,
I've seen a couple in Escape so far, I think.
I've seen one in Link's house.
Oh.
But yeah, thanks for doing the commentary and to our tracker and everyone for putting on this tournament. It is a lot of fun, and yeah, I'll probably drop off now.
Yeah, thank you for running.
Yep.
No
Make sure
problem.
you give PRD a follow and show him some love for putting out a great race for us today. So JC gonna finish this one out.
Just going for the full clear. PRD skipped out without doing the full clear, so I'm wondering if there are any items even left on this, but I wasn't counting precisely.
What could we even possibly pick up anymore? Did we see the red meringue?
It was on Lumberjack Cave.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we're just missing a shield, it looks like. I think we've got every other item. Red mail, we know where that's at. Red mail is in Swamp on left side. So JC is trying to figure out where to go now.
Is he going for the ped pull, maybe?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, PRD just said he was considering it when he went to Odd, so now we'll actually get to see what's on it.
I believe from the scrolling credits I saw that it was some vampire skewers, so arrows.
Disappointment time then.
And he's going to do it blind, so he's going to pull out some very, very nicely crafted arrows.
And of course the slashes of anger there.
Yep. And it looks like he's going to 6.
Doing
Going to clip
Bombos first.
on up to Bombos. Yep. Luckily,
Nice.
the overworld glitches, Bombos and Ether, not really too difficult to access.
And he's presumably going to do Ether after this, and then he'll be in go mode.
All right, here it comes. This is the moment JC has been waiting for. Pulling out the flippers on the ether tablet, and now he will be headed to Swamp Palace to finish this one out.
Thankfully, Go Mode Swamp is again nice and smooth, so it won't take him too much longer to finish. I'm sure he's thankful for that. Although maybe not feeling too thankful about the seed at this point.
But yeah, JC is going to finish this one out. There are tiebreaker implications if you do finish the seed, that is taken into consideration, as opposed to if you forfeit. Then it's better if you finish the seed within what I forget how the tiebreakers work. Hold on one second here. I think it's like 20%. Yeah, so basically 12 minutes per hour. You know, so if you're finishing within a certain amount of time, you know, behind your opponent, it's 20% of the time. So it's taken into it's maxed out at that value, and anything lower than that will work favorably in case of tiebreaker implications.
So I think... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and anything higher than that would be basically the equivalent to a forfeit in terms of how it's considered during the tiebreakers.
So I think that'd be an hour and 55 minutes plus some seconds for this case.
All right, so JC about to engage Argus here, and we will see him fly on over to, well, not literally, but run as fast as he can on over to Ganon to take him on. Has already killed Aga 2, so it'll just be a quick sprint from Swamp Palace to the pyramid.
One cycle in that phase. Just going to be dashing straight up there, and then hammer dashing. He's already got the hammer out. Making good use of those free boots.
Alright, so let's cheer JC on as he goes and takes on Ganon. hoping for a very quick fight here so that he can wrap this seed up and get a good time in. Getting tagged by that trident a couple times. JC has at least one fairy, I'm sure, so... Oh, Ganon jumping up and giving him a hug.
Yeah, there's the fairy revive.
Ganon being quite the rude one. And JC showing Ganon what he thinks about him.
Do you get the arrows you just shot at me?
Getting a nice double here, getting the torch glitch, and all he's got to do is finish this one out with one more arrow to go. All right, down goes Ganon. GG, JC.
GG.
All right, so JC finishing with an official second place time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, 59 seconds. And looks like he will be joining us for an interview. We are joined by JC, GG's, and how'd you feel about this seed?
Well, my plan when I went to Catfish was to go to Pod after that, except my hands decided they wanted to save and quit.
Oh, yeah, I was expecting you to go to Pod because it seemed a bit of a weird choice to walk all the way to Catfish and not do that.
Yeah, I hit the save and quit. Like, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh well. And I think I was I just missing the bow? Not the bow, but was I just missing mirror and flippers at that point? I don't remember. I think that was the only thing I was missing.
Those were your go mode items.
Let's see, when did I do Ice Palace? I think I would have done Ice Palace after Pod anyways. So I would have found out about that hint for the Hera at that point.
Yeah, and you already saw one of the other hints for the Hera basement, didn't you? I guess that second one really motivated you.
No, the first one I saw was in Ice Palace. I didn't bother with... I didn't hit into Theosan until after Meyer, where the other hint was.
But yeah, I mean, you were firing on all cylinders early on. You found a lot of progression, doing some good routing, and you were the first one to find some gloves. Funny enough, the other pair was on the dam that both of you managed to put off for quite some time.
Yeah, it's not as high value as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, South Shore is one of those weird places in Overworld glitches that I see a lot of people hold off on. It's kind of like a Hyrule Castle, but not as avoided. A lot of people usually wait to like mirror, and like if they're gonna do like Swamp, they'll do South Shore at the same time. But yeah, I mean, yeah, those clothes were kind of hanging out there. Those were JC's first pair. Then he went shortly after up to Zora. And so, but yeah. Other than that, how were you kind of feeling about your routing in general? Like I said, you made some good plays early on, and it really paid off early. So, how'd you feel about that?
It was fine. I'm good at just kind of rethink about what I want to do on the fly, and that execution on the muscle memory of the catfish saving quick kind of screwed me that time. But my actual plan was to go to pod after that, and then at that point became a little bit too far out of the way just to visit Pendant Pod.
Yeah, that's not a fun decision to have to make. A pendant dungeon, especially like pod. It's a lot of time.
All three pendant dungeons had a logically required item.
Yeah, that's the rude part about this seed. Because the lamp was in Thieves Town. What did Hera have?
Quake.
Oh yeah, Quake. Hera had Quake, and Pod had your mirror and book. So yeah, pendants paid off today.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's see, I had Sonic make the 25,000 seed distribution the other day. The Arena Miner does not care one way or another if it's a crystal or a pendant. There's zero differences on that. It's like, okay. But the reason I start doing Hyrule Castle as early as I can is it's actually pretty high value on those distributions. And hasn't failed me quite yet.
I think you said it was 64% on another run.
Yeah. And what did it have this time?
Pearl.
Oh yeah. Definitely needed. Well, kind of needed.
Just a little
needed.
Wanted.
Kind of needed.
Needed if you don't want to be really annoyed and slow.
We got 4 bottles like 10 minutes into the seed or something like that, and plenty of money. We had a lot of blue IPA fuel, fake fuel. All you have to do is flute to 7 or fake flute to 7 in Dark World, and then one screen right, and you become Link. And then that would have been a fun thing to show off, a 0 HP swamp. Oh well.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. There was one of the weirder things you could do to avoid Pearl in the Dark World.
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier. That it's possible to complete the seed without ever picking up Moon Pearl, but it's probably a lot slower, even if you are super well practiced in all of the shenanigans you'd have to pull to do that. Either way,
It's like I guess with the super drop though on Death Mountain, it's a lot faster than it used to be. Well, it wouldn't even matter because of the flute 2. Because you have to make it to the fastest way to get to Link State is from 7, or at least the fastest consistent way. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
I think we were hoping to try to get No Logic coming in sometime. That'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be quite a thing to watch.
So, any last words on the seed or how you're enjoying the tournament?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think this loss does knock me out of bracket chance.
Because looks like I'm showing on the page that you're 3-2 would be.
I'll be 3-4 now.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have Glance from the other day, and if I won the rest of my races and Hacksaw run the rest of his races, we'd have the same win-loss count, but he has a lower percent. Or would have had lower percent.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thanks for putting on a great race for us today.
I think
you know,
I think the only location that had zero knowledge about what was in it was Spike Cave. I think I checked or knew everything else by the end of that scene. At least from the hints.
Pretty much it seemed like.
Yeah, it's like the big reason I did Ice Palace when I did like, well, I've seen Mirror in Pyramid Fairy before.
That's always horrifying.
Yeah. Didn't really have anything. Oh well. I do need to go to sleep pretty soon, so thanks for your comms, thanks for everything, have a great day.
Good morning.
And make sure you give our runners a follow. Links are in the chat. If you are looking for the next tournament match for the Overworld Glitches tournament, we have these two runners facing off again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Channel to be decided, so stay tuned to the schedule for that one. And as for more speed gaming stuff this evening, let's see here. Looks like we've got really nothing else on the schedule, so that'll about do it for us. Any final thoughts there, Shiku?
This was a pretty mean seed, putting lots of stuff in pendants and making them make big gambles on stuff. Unfortunately, the gambles paid out for PRD, but not so much for JC this time.